3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello, everybody! Welcome back to the Nerd Experience. This is the next episode in our campaign. We've got a few announcements to go through. So we have our first winner already picked from the first giveaway. We'll contact you directly on Instagram. We'll just get your email or whatever to send it off to you. And then the next one finishes on Thanksgiving Day, so make sure you enter on that. We're also going to do an additional one that will be announced next Sunday, so whatever the Sunday of Thanksgiving is. It's going to be some form of gift card to Hero Forge, so we'll let you know on that. Keep checking in on Instagram. But I think that's... one of our players isn't here, but he's here in heart, so we'll get started with a quick recap. The party. You were trekking north towards the small village of Bridgerton, and came upon an outpost, or we're stopping in on the outpost furthest most of the Order of West Haven. You were taking refuge there when a horde of skeletons came out of nowhere and began to assault the outpost. You took part in the defense of it, found a welcome companion, and luckily held off the enemies, but then suddenly a much larger, roughly 15 tall skeleton pops out of nowhere and begins assaulting you. You guys survive that combat, find a ring and other loot, and also are a little curious on why they came, because you heard that they came for somebody. They were intending to take somebody out of either your group or this outpost. You're not quite sure at this point. But that's where we're going to pick up. So at this point, the fire has been taken down. It's just charred remains. You've got two of the soldiers did not survive. Those two are being buried by a few other the members of the Order. But you guys are welcome to do whatever you'd like.
I think Bulgrim will come back in from the stables after healing that horse, and survey the scene, look around. I think it's at this point that he'll maybe even notice Kai for the first time. Sort of busybodying around. As I recall, he was giving people food and healing them. And,
I believe you said in the last session you had kind of noticed him, but with the ruckus of everything.
Right.
So
I'm sort of going to watch him again for another minute here and sort of just see what he's up to. See if I can't get a sort of a read on this character I don't know.
Okay. So you're kind of keeping watch over everything, assisting in repairs, or
yeah, so
okay?
But I'm definitely kind of keeping an eye, just kind of looking.
Specifically on Kai. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Oh, because he's a stranger.
I don't know him.
Yeah,
I don't know that person.
What were the three of you doing?
I was outside with him, and then I think I'm gonna use my smith tools and get to work on my new armor.
On your armor? Okay, so you kind of pop out into the little smithy outside the wall. Okay, as you get out there, you notice it is damaged a little bit. Things were kind of tossed over when the enemies were running through, but nothing's like damaged. It's just more messy. Yeah, okay. So you spend a little bit of time, you're cleaning up, and then you can begin to get to work. Thalik, what are you up to?
No, all that combat and work kind of took it out of me. I'm going to see if I can find something to eat.
Okay. Well, Esmeralda is walking around handing out some rolls.
Magic rolls.
Yeah, magic rolls. That you haven't partaken yet, but I think everyone except like Hez noticed or something. One of the party members didn't notice that like everyone who ate it seemed to be a little bit more rejuvenated. Okay, so you're looking for Esmeralda to get something because she had also told you about the venison stew. And Kai, what are you up to?
Looking at the sewer, trying to figure out because.
Okay. Oh yeah, the sewer grate.
Yeah, we noticed that that's where they were trying to take Esmeralda back through.
Yeah.
And then, if that completes, I would like to sell my crossbow that I came across.
Okay. So if you would like to get, are you like investigating it to see?
Yes, investigating to see because I didn't see all the happenings.
Okay. Well, I believe Phallic and someone else closed it, but you can investigate it still to kind of see if there's something weird about it. So give me a roll for that. Just a D20 and then add your investigation to it. That'll be under your skills.
D20 skills. Investigation. 11.
11 total?
Yes, 11 total.
You find... it's not bolted down yet.
So I'm able to like lift it and...
Yeah, I mean, it's heavy. It's probably 100 pounds, but... Yeah, it hasn't been re-bolted down, but... So that tells you it probably was unbolted before this happened. I'll say that's what you kind of learn from this, or decipher from it.
Is it worth going into the thing and see where it lets out, or?
You're more than welcome to do it if you'd like.
I would like to do that.
Okay. Keep in mind this is where the refuge and all travels through, so there might be some. It's where all the bad doo-doo and stuff goes through. Okay. I'm making sure you understand that your character sees and smells.
Yeah, and I will walk through some crap to figure out where these skeletons are coming from.
Okay. So you.
What a strange creature.
Yeah.
Bulgrim says as he sees this unknown stranger wiggle his way into a sewage canal.
Yeah, because it's maybe like 3-4 feet wide. So
wide enough for my guy to get in there.
Oh yeah.
Because if the skeletons came,
it's basically like a circular 3-foot, kind of not perfectly shaped. It's more like it was roughly hewn and dug out. But yeah, you get out, and how it empties is it basically goes out under the wall and about 15 feet south or west, and it comes out, and you find like the hillside kind of comes down in a gradual way. And that's where the other side of the grate is, and that is popped off on the ground still, like just laying on the ground. Off in the distance to the west, you see a small stream, mostly frozen over, but
nothing of note. So.
I mean, you're welcome to do an investigation roll for that either grate out there or go towards the river to try and track any footsteps. There's a light snow coming down,
so
but
I
nothing
can see
heavy.
the tracks. I'll go out to
Potentially.
the river.
Okay.
See anything.
All right. Yeah, give me another investigation roll.
19, so 20.
Okay, so a 20. You find that the tracks, they basically circle. They come close to the river, so roughly 100-ish feet from the outpost, and then curve back around a large. So you get roughly 150, 200 feet from the outpost. And you see they begin to curve off to go back towards like where the road was, where the highway was.
We're out that way and we're coming back all the way.
Yeah, so it was made to look like they were coming from the rear almost is what it looks like.
So they just appeared somewhere over this way back.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep tracking them if you want.
I'm gonna keep
Okay, so while you're doing that, you find Esmeralda. What are you just literally trying to get food, or?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get some food.
Okay, yeah. She gives you a roll and a little wooden bowl of venison stew, and it's very, very tasty. If you recall, the one priest had told Bulgrim, I believe it was, when he was folding up the flag, that you should stick around for it, and it was definitely worth the combat. It is delicious, and when you eat the roll, you feel the similar rejuvenation to your body. You are working on your armor. Give an intelligent... Yeah, because you're an artificer. Intelligence. Just a straight intelligence roll. So D20, add your intelligence modifier. And proficiency, so +7, I guess, for you. Roll it again.
It could be like a Smith's Tools check. Too.
Yeah, that...
Why am I
yeah.
doing me?
Well, yeah, did you roll it? Like, did you pick it up and change it? Or
No,
gotcha.
I can't. The light is messing me up. Is that 18 or 16?
16.
16. Okay, so total it'd be +7, so that's 23. Okay, so you work on your armor. It takes an hour, I believe, to infuse. You are coming along really, really well. You had cleaned up, and Jezekiah comes out, and he's assisting you, and you guys are working, and you hear the clanging, and Bulgrim hears this from inside. Music to his ears, almost. But yeah, you're coming along very nicely. Like, no mishaps. You're finding all the materials you need. This isn't your normal workspace, but it feels like it is.
Awesome.
Bulgrim, you kept your eye on the newcomer, Kai. You see him disappear into the... and then you begin to hear this. What would you like to do at that point?
I think actually Bulgrim is going to look for Commander Cal.
Okay.
With Kai sort of stepping out back.
Okay.
And is going to hope to talk to him about maybe how this happened.
Okay. He is up on the top of the wall.
Yeah.
I can do minis. Would you guys like that, or just so you can keep up track of where you guys are? So Bulgrim, we'll just say you came up this way. We'll say Warlow is just helping, like, clean up and stuff. We'll just say that. Or actually, it would make sense. He's kind of keeping watch over the wall because he's a little...
Yeah.
You're out here tracking. You're roughly 100-ish, 150 feet. Thalic is eating with Esmeralda. You are working outside in the smithy. Okay. So, yeah, you find Commander Kyle up top, keeping watch, kind of splitting his... The front gate's open now, but you notice it's not completely open. Like, it's almost like halfway.
Sure.
So it can be closed up a little bit faster if it needed to. The remaining members of the order that aren't burying their comrades are keeping watch with much more diligence than they were before. It is dark, so it's a little bit difficult, but they have actually lit multiple what are those
braziers?
Metal braziers or whatever, but all of them, you see there's ones that are outside the actual, that are dotted along about 30 to 40 feet surrounding the outpost in all directions, so much more light is given.
Gotcha.
So they can see much more. You can tell this was a design for combat, like
Right.
for siege. They are ready in case they can be ready.
To see all around.
Absolutely. And Commander Cal is kind of splitting his attention between outside the wall and then inside the wall. Every 10, 15 seconds as you're coming up the stairs, you see him kind of pivoting and watching over and seeing them repair the building and get to work of cleaning up everything and piling up the skeletons. And you notice that no one attempted to move that big skeleton. They just left it because it was heavy by the looks of it. They just kind of piled all the old ones, or the small ones, on top of it, collecting certain weapons that might be reusable or able to melt down parts of them. And you can see the concern in his face and he says, "Hello, Bulgrim, 84th of your name.
Indeed. Good to see you, Commander Cal.
I'm glad you survived the combat."
And you. I did hope to pick your brain a bit about how this may have come to pass. It seems that your sewer grates were unfastened. Is there someone responsible for maintaining that?
Well, we had serviced them a week's past, and I don't know if it was a mistake or something happened after, but I feel like I recall them being fastened back after it was done. So he kind of looks over his shoulder, and you're the only one up on there other than and everyone's kind of away from you, roughly 30 feet, and he kind of leans in and whispers. And he's an elf, he's maybe a foot taller than you, roughly. And he says, "It's a task, actually, I would like to, if you'd be willing, to investigate for me. I trust those around me, but also I have to be careful. I'm responsible for the lives of not only them, but those that live here. So..."
And if, no disrespect, of course, but it seems like somebody had to have made a conscious or otherwise mistake for this to have happened.
That is exactly my thinking as well. I would like you to keep watch over it, see if anybody meanders around it, maybe also question some of the members and people within this outpost, see if anybody story doesn't match up, possibly.
Yeah, and actually, I want to see if Bulgrim can insight whether or not he's trying to see if I figured him out, or if...
Okay.
Like, I'd like to see how truthful or how, like, on the up and up I think Commander Cal is.
Sure.
15 plus 2 is 17.
17 total?
Insight, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, he rolled a natural 20, but you don't know if he's being deceitful or being honest, but it seems like he's being honest for sure.
Absolutely. Cool.
There was a change in his face. If you recall, before this all combat happened, he was kind of just like, it was skeletons, not a big deal, yeah. And whereas now there's legitimate concern by what you saw the entire time you've been keeping watch over him.
Right, but I'm not sure if that concern is for himself or for
Correct.
others.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Yes, I do want to find out what happened to prevent it. Be happy to look into it. I know some of my companions are already around helping or doing whatever. Do you know that character that showed up?
Oh,
I didn't catch his name, or even I only caught the back of his head, really.
Yes, the dark elf. Looks like a
sure.
half breed, possibly. I've heard whispers of a nomadic druidic community that live within the forest of Huntêkin, but I imagine he's one of them by the looks of him.
Nomadic druidic. And, do they mess with the Vimpor? Have you heard?
I believe they do. Again, I've never spoken with any of them. I've only heard stories of some of my scouts coming upon them, maybe in traveling. But he did assist in the combat. As I was recovering and getting back to my feet, I saw him specifically assaulting the enemy.
And I did see him trying to help people. Some were laying on the ground, and he went over and gave them food or healing. He doesn't seem bad, but
Still,
showing up randomly in the middle of a siege is
my thoughts as well.
a bit strange.
Maybe have word with him as well to see who he is, to confirm that he's one of the community.
He seems to have slipped out the back through your where the skeletons were trying to drag somebody. So I'm not
Really? I might speak with him first then.
He has disappeared by my account, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know?
As I said, he headed
And
out
he kind of starts
retreat.
looking out,
Yeah.
and he kind of squints, and he says, I see a shape moving off in the distance there to the south. That might be him. And dwarves don't have dark vision, do they? So you can't see him.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's like 60 feet, but
Yeah.
100 and whatever.
Well, and that's where it's bright light from those braziers or whatever that are. So I'd say he's just on the edge, so it's like barely dim light that you can see the shape, the outline. The moons are out, so you can see a little bit, especially the height that you're at. Not as a person, but as on top of the walls. So you can see there's a shape moving. So you imagine that's what he's talking about when he says
I
that,
see movement in the
Yeah.
darkness, sure.
Perhaps you might meet him out in the fields and see what he's doing.
I suppose.
And there will be reward for anything you can bring to my attention.
Do you have any connections in the records? What am I looking for here? Department?
Records Hall.
Hall. Do you have any connections in the records hall? I've been potentially trying to find some information that your order may have stored there.
Perhaps. I haven't been back to West Haven in quite some time to the order, but I did have some friends that were assigned to that area of the Sky Sword. I imagine they're still there. Rarely do they change positions very quickly.
Right. Well, perhaps if I do manage to investigate this and we've come to a conclusion, perhaps you could send a good word to them for me.
Oh, absolutely. If you prefer that instead of coin when you return to West Haven for what you've already done, I can absolutely ask that you receive the recognition and the accreditation within our order.
cannot guarantee that's what the rest of my companions want, but that is what I seek.
Well, okay. I will make it done. But
Thank you very much.
absolutely. Thank you again for saving my life. I owe you my life.
On Bulgrim's way down, he's going to pat Warlow on the shoulder and keep an eye on me for a moment. I'm going to go see what he's up to and sort of gesture to the moving shape outside the...
Okay. And he nods and gives you a quick wink and keeps watch.
Yeah.
You see him knock the arrow and fire it. No.
That's what I'm doing. Is Bulgrim's heading towards Kai, but I've been talking for a while, so...
Okay. So at that point, Phallic, what are you up to? Are you just kind of resting, helping people?
Yeah,
Or-
just hanging out.
Okay, so you're kind of hanging out. Are you going to just keep working on your armor?
Yeah, well, I'm actually gonna go see what's up with that giant skeleton. I'm actually gonna.
So you're going to pause on working on your armor? Or are you going to, once you finish working on your armor?
Well, that's what I was gonna have Jezekiah keep it going.
Okay.
So I can run up to that skeleton.
Okay, yeah, we'll say, like, you get to a point after Bulgrim gets to where Kai is when you kind of finish and you get to a point where something needs to warm and heat up, and you kind of say to Jezekiah, tend to this while I. So we'll do that, and then we'll go to where Kai is. So you go. What are you looking for exactly, or what are you attempting to do?
Oh, this is my first big battle because I've never left West Haven. So I'm actually gonna decorate my armor with some of the bone from that giant scary skeleton guy.
Really? Okay.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah, you can. It'll take a little bit of work, but it'd probably take 5-10 minutes to really like. I mean, how much are you trying to take?
Not a lot, just kind of like on my.
I mean,
breastplate,
you could
like-
take like a tooth that's probably like 4 inches big because of the size of this creature. They also, if you recall, it had like big bones. It looked like almost femurs or something on its back.
I was gonna take a tooth.
A tooth? Okay, so yeah, you can see there's one big
canine.
molar missing where it looks like the ring was maybe pulled from. And give an investigation roll while you're doing this first.
Yeah. That's a. Oh, there's no modifier on that, right? Is that a skill?
Yeah, it's skill. Yeah. It's an ABC order, so.
Excuse me. Yeah. +3.
Ooh.
What is it?
I think it was a 5.
3.
It looked like a 3.
All right,
Three.
I got 6.
So you got a 6 total. Yeah, there's a big tooth missing. But yeah, you work at getting another tooth loose. We'll say you get one of the front kind of, or you can even get the
Sharp one.
yeah. So you get one of those. It's about 3.5 inches long. Yeah. So you gather that tooth and then just head back to working on your armor.
Oh, and I was actually gonna go see what's up with those the loaves of the bread.
Oh, to grab some food? Okay, so yeah, you had to pass by that to get to there, so we'll say you grab some stew, a nice bowl, and a roll as well. And similar feelings as everyone else has had. Kai, you are investigating. The tracks continue. You notice that most of the skeletons are walking in, it looks like a single file, which is very strange. For one, you notice that. It looks like the large ones kind of walk in step with it, but obviously the actual gait of it is much bigger and a little wider, so that's the only one that's out of step. But literally these skeletons' footprints look like they were intentionally walking, which is very out of the normal for skeletons. They, you don't see as many of the drag marks or anything across the snow.
They were just intentionally concealing their tracks to make
It looked like it, yeah. And that's when you see Bulgrim kind of coming through. Were you coming through the front gate or traveling through the sewer?
No.
Okay. So you go through. You see him coming out the front and coming towards you, kind of in like a crisscross pattern.
So I'm coming back to the.
No, you're heading towards the road, and you notice it as it comes from the south of where you came from. Those tracks. So like you came from up here. Forest is on this side.
Yeah, forest here, outpost here. I came from.
It's hard for me to tell what you're pointing
Yeah,
to.
I was just trying to
So
figure
let's say this is the outpost.
Right.
The road is here. The forest is over here. You came from here on kind of the northern part of the forest. It looks like the tracks went this way towards the road from the south.
So they were coming from
The southern, it's still to the east, but it's opposite from where you came from. So you're more in the northern part of the forest, and they came from more the southern part of the road than on the north side where you would have guessed they came from.
Gotcha. Strange.
And that's when Bulgrim comes within sight, earshot.
Yeah, so Bulgrim is just going to walk all the way up until he's like within 5 feet of this character. Like he's just gonna walk, walk right up to him. So
Aggressively or
just walk with purpose.
Okay, no weapon out or anything like that. Okay, well I guess your weapon's always out.
That's my secret captain.
Yeah. So you see Bulgrim walking up confidently.
So I stop the tracking that I'm doing and just acknowledge you.
Again, feel free to do anything on the way up, because Bulgrim's plan is to walk literally right next to you. So if you want to say anything like while he's approaching or whatever.
Well, I'm just still tracking, so I'm basically paying you no mind. I just notice you, but I continue going about.
Then Bulgrim will walk right up to you. Hail, stranger.
Kai. You can call me Kai.
I am Bulgrim. Bulgrimson. 8th is his name. And,
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Bulgrimson.
I am not so sure yet. I would like to ask you some questions.
Okay. Ask away.
How do you find yourself here in the middle of a siege? It seems quite strange, does it not?
Maybe strange for you, but not for me and my group. We had noticed an attack on one of our own, and I was tracking these creatures when I heard the bell, and...
An attack on one of your own?
On one of my own. Yes, we have a group of druids just living in the forest.
The commander mentioned this. So you are from that group, then. How many are among your number?
Give or take, depending on the year, but we have 3 mainstays within our clan. 3 families. About 11 in number. I think I did that math right.
I see that you have some skill in the Vimpor as you're able to heal others, and that is a good and proper use. You don't mess with any other forms of Vimpor or try to raise the dead yourself or anything like that, do you?
No, I'm looking to get rid of all the dark uses of this magic.
And Bulgrim's going to insert for a 17 on how likely he thinks you're telling the truth.
How likely?
Are you telling the truth?
I am 1000%.
Okay,
yes.
fantastic.
I can follow it up with my mother.
He could even have. You could be holding information back that maybe if you would want to roll a deception and be able to him either tell that you're holding information back, or if you are not holding information back, you can do persuasion for him to completely trust you.
Yeah.
That's kind of that. Roll against rollies is what certain people call it.
So rollies, we're rolling, and what am I rolling?
You just roll whichever one, and you don't need to say which one it is unless it's lower than what he rolled.
18. And plus
whatever.
Yeah.
So he believes whatever.
I believe him to be true. Wonderful.
I can just throw out that my mother was a healer as well, so that's where I've learned my uses of Vimpor.
Very good. You seem to have picked up that skill quite nice. You've healed quite a few people in there. Do you have any idea where these creatures are coming from? You say you've dealt with them in your forest before.
Yes, we from the where's this forest? East of the outpost. So east of this outpost we are located, and there was just the one life lost, and I'm making it my duty to track it down to where this came from.
Have you ever seen one of the size of that beast on the walls?
No. Very, very emphatic no.
Seems not many people know what's going on.
But I'm tracking these down, and they seem to be strangely singly filing, walking.
Did you meet a halfling on the road?
Oh, I have no idea of a halfling. We mostly keep to the woods.
There was a halfling at one point, probably a year ago, that had come through. It was a bard. Stayed with you guys for a season.
Oh, a bard.
Yeah, he played music, and you noticed he stuck around in festivities and enjoyed the company of strange people for a little bit, maybe to get inspiration for music, perhaps, and then he continued on.
Oh, I guess that's why.
You don't see many.
Yeah.
A musician, you say? Do you happen to recall this musician's name?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it was not Bartholomew.
Yeah.
You can pick a name if you'd like, or I can give you one.
It doesn't. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't Bartholomew.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the main reason for the question.
Yeah. We'll say Jerry in this point.
Jerry
the halfling bard.
Yeah, Jerry the halfling bard. Yeah, Jerry shreds, dude.
He does.
Jerry Garcia
Jerry's got
of the
He pulled it out, but he didn't play like a guitar. He
Yeah.
So Jerry is his name.
Okay. There's another halfling that appears to be connected with this somehow. His name shows up just before something terrible happens. But it seems that you're a good-natured person.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, how did you come about this outpost?
I suppose that's fair. Me and my companions, I'm one of 4 now, were hired by the Order from West Haven to investigate an incident that happened about a week and a half ago now, maybe a little bit less. We were assailed by a darkness, and then many of our number killed. And it started to happen here again, though it wasn't quite as dark, and many skeletons. I was actually able to see my assailants this time, whereas previously I was not.
But it is the same attackers, or not the exact same, but same.
It's sort of same circumstance. It's definitely strange circumstance in both. The large one also called about wanting to take somebody. I can only assume they mean me. I mean, I am touched by the Zekra.
I love Volgrim. And you heard him say that as well on the wall. Like, you heard that when the words came out.
I heard him. Yeah, but it is not.
I guess there is another it could be. No, couldn't be. No.
Who is this other?
I have a guardian angel. I thought perhaps it could be my guardian angel thereafter.
Gotcha. Well, I've got. I'd like to make I guess we can continue our conversation as we make our way back, as I've done in investigating this.
Yeah, you've reached the road. You guys have kind of been walking, talking.
Gotcha. So to get back,
it was one of those where you guys, once you first started talking, you stopped. But as like you guys both kind of relaxed a little bit, like got to trust each other a little bit, you started walking along, looking, and it stayed true the same way until it got to the road, and then the tracks disappeared. Yeah.
Gotcha. So nothing of note that can be gleaned from that. But yeah, we can just continue our conversation as we go back to...
Okay. So that's when you guys get back towards the gate, and it's been about 30, 45 minutes of all this happening. Thalik is kind of feet up, relaxed, drinking some ale, eating some stew. Esmeralda on his leg, just relaxing. No. And you are back working on your armor, I think is what you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
You were going to get food and then
put the tooth in my armor.
Into the armor? Okay. Where are you thinking?
Shoulder spike? You doing like a...
Oh, I'm actually doing this is my new stealth armor. Also has a lightning launcher.
Okay.
They said like a gem or whatever. So instead of
a node or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to use the tooth instead of that and put it right on my chest plate. So my lightning can come right out. Kind of like
Very cool. Okay. Okay, so you had to kind of explain this to Jezekiah of what you were planning on doing, and he's very curious, but I like it. Yes, let's get to work. And you guys continue hammering, and he was curious that when you were forging this armor, why you were leaving kind of like an empty space in the center, and now obviously it makes sense to him. And you're working at it, and the armor's kind of cooled and formed, and now you're placing this bone in when Bulgrim and everything. So you got probably 10-ish minutes left between you and Jezekiah. And you guys have been kind of working in silence, but also maybe a little bit of communication. Is there anything you would have wanted to speak about?
I noticed when everything kind of hit, you dipped out, Jezekiah. And you were talking how you've had to deal with some undead, and I didn't see you the whole time during the fight.
Well,
I was curious, what happened with your big arm and your hammer?
Well, my young son lives here, and I was mainly making sure he was safe. You might not have seen him. He is a small child. You notice I went and backed up against the stairs underneath. He was behind me. I was keeping him safe.
All right.
He was my number one priority. No offense.
No, I understand that. I was just hoping to have another companion.
No, absolutely. It's nice to have a second set of hands around here that knows what they're doing. Most of the time I've had to get assistance from one of the regulars or one of the members of the order, and skilled as they are, they're nothing like what you were able to do. So
Thank you.
Yes, again, I wish I could have helped you more, but I did have to defend him against two different separate occasions during the onslaught.
I think I understand that. I was just curious.
But yeah, let's get on with it.
Cool.
And you guys continue working. Thalik, you're just kind of resting this whole time? It's fine if you are. I'm just making sure I don't leave you out.
I think as Bulgrim's walking into the front gate and like, past the smithy and everything, he's gonna come up behind Hezekiah and with a big gauntleted hand put on his back. As it seems that you're a skilled crafter. Now, somebody who is as good around the forge as you should know. Fire stays inside the forge. Right?
Yeah, I could do that. It's my first time doing that, so I'm really
that sort
sorry
of living
I missed
poor is not good.
I can understand that. I'll be a little bit more careful where I'm casting my fire.
Thank you. So Kai and Wolf.
And the best part is how awkward your character is, like socially.
Yeah.
That it was one of those like, what do I what do I say in this moment? Sorry, that's one for me.
You really gave him the business there.
Yeah. So you guys continue in. Is there anything else you guys want to do while your the night goes on, or is there anything else you wanted to say to each other in conversation?
I don't really know what else where else would we left off. I would just like to get rid of this crossbow.
As you were going by the smithy, you could have gone through and sold it for whatever the value is. Full value, actually.
Full value?
Yeah, normally when you're selling to somebody, they'll pay like half on average. So you get a full, it should say the valuation on it
it's
when
like
you click on it.
75 gold pieces?
Really?
Yeah.
For a crossbow?
I think that's what it said.
It's 1 million gold pieces.
75 GP.
Okay, yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
I'll take halfsies because
No, you get the full value. They're thankful that everyone helped in the fight.
Okay.
So he tosses a coin purse to you and looks at the crossbow. It's in good shape, and he tosses it into a pile with a few other weapons that he's working on and working with. Your armor completes, so you can add it.
I'd like to add that Hezekiah was petrified after you left and completely throws up on the corner and has to regain himself to finish that out. So it was way too much, and he touched him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. This guy is trembling still.
And Jezekiah notices that, and he's like, and he overheard. Steady. It's not unnormal for dwarves to get worked up.
I can understand that.
He means well.
Yeah. I just don't like being touched at all. And that really shook me. He's a lot bigger than I thought. Definitely felt that thud on my back.
Well, it seems you've traveled here together. You must have some trust and a bit of a relationship.
I do have trust. I just, I'm still new to the group.
Is this your first time outside the West Haven?
Yeah, this is definitely my first time.
Well, get used to it. Many times you will experience out in the world things that you are uncomfortable with or don't like. So it's a simple fact of life. But
How
you
far
seem
is
good.
it back to West Haven?
And he laughs with you, and then you guys continue working. Yeah, you finish your armor. If there's nothing else anybody wants to do you want to talk to anybody else or Kai or?
We can
I think so.
we can part ways and say that I need to rest up as I head back to camp in the morning. I guess if it's we're still at night, right?
Yeah, it's roughly 7 or 8 o'clock at night
Gotcha,
at this
yeah.
point.
So gear up for a long rest before I mentioned I'll be heading back to my camp.
Right. Now, you had mentioned that you had made it your mission to end this undead threat. Now, as it would turn out, that is also our current mission. Were you looking for extra hands? We were looking for extra hands.
I will gladly help, but there's a pressing matter I have to attend to.
A pressing matter?
Pressing matter. As I mentioned, the dead youngling, future leader of his family group of, I guess, druids. His family house. There we have a way of possibly healing him. So I need to head back 2 days travel. I guess. So
Is it on the road, or is
it's within the forest.
No, so horses wouldn't help them. I might ask my companions if they want to accompany. We were planning on heading into the forest anyhow. Let me... Well, I suppose you're going to take a rest anyway. Perhaps we could meet everybody and discuss how to move forward.
Sounds like a plan.
And actually, it's at that point where you two are walking up towards Esmeralda to get dinner and food.
Wait, she's not on my lap anymore?
She had gotten off to serve some other people, and yeah. And
messed up, man.
Yeah. So she's serving and helping other people, and you guys walk up, and that's when Warlow comes up and begins to hear the end of the conversation of specifically of a youngling, and it strikes a bit into him. And so that's where you guys you can discuss it now, or that can be part of your long rest as you discussing this. So
yes, like as we're resting, I guess Bulgrim will introduce Kai. He's from a group of druids out in the forest. Some of what they do with living poor I detest. At least certain branches of what there's possible, but mostly it's good natural living poor. And Kai here seems to have a good head on his shoulders, cares for the average folk, went around healing. Says his village is in a bit of trouble. What say you two?
I think Hezekiah is not going to give any eye contact, because he's still shaking because of the interaction earlier.
Does Bulgrim notice that he's not getting any eye contact?
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite obvious.
Everybody notices this.
Yeah, literally everybody's like...
Yeah. Sounds good to me, but Is this going to take us off our track to Bridgerton?
Yes and no. It's
no
more,
affiliation.
It's more
with the
of
show.
a detour. Huntêkin Forest is in between us and Bridgerton anyway, so we were either going to have to follow the road or cut through the forest. So if we can help somebody on the way to our destination and also possibly get rid of more undead, that's sort of where I am coming from on this. Plus our possibly new friend here helped us. I feel as though I should help him.
I see that. What do you think, Tyler?
Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go.
And
I'm kind of drunk right
yeah,
now.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Has like both hands behind his back.
Does that
got
for real?
1 foot up.
Yeah, and you can see like 6 or 7 empty tankards beside him, and the 7th or 8th in his hand, just like.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm a little drunk, but it sounds like a great idea.
I'm now second guessing. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess if everyone's down,
and you do vouch for the stranger that we don't know at all.
He seems.
Who's standing right beside you?
He seems.
Yeah, he's like right there eating with you guys. Yeah,
awkward.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair is fair.
Yeah.
He seems to be okay. I've been talking to him for for about an hour and a half, 2 hours now. Everything he says seems to be truthful.
It does smell a little bit though.
That's right.
From the sewer. I will bathe.
Yeah. Well, this outpost, it seems like they have access to what the reason possibly it was picked in this location is it seems like they do have like a bathhouse, and it's probably a natural hot spring underneath that they use, and I mean, you can see when the door opens, steam just spills out, and so.
I'd like to do that before the long rest.
No, absolutely, and it's part of your long rest. You can absolutely eat, clean up, like. Was there anything else you guys wanted to discuss?
No, I'm going to use my magical tinkering and that leftover nasty smell. I'm going to use my magical tinkering and thingy. Make a nice smell of what would it be? What's around here?
Pumpkin spice.
Oh, you know what? Yes.
I will freeze people.
Pumpkin spice smell. A nice smell of cinnamon pumpkin spice.
On him?
Yes.
On Kai?
Actually, no, because I'm super weird
on himself.
socially. So the chair he's sitting in, I'm just going to like touch. And therefore it just
okay.
Really
things around him smell
yeah.
pumpkin spice.
So like he gets clean, and then you also like you're
But yeah.
Okay.
He's around
and anyone else who wants to say they get cleaned up is fine. That's part of your long rest. So if there's nothing else you'd like to do for the evening, okay.
Drink more.
This PG right now.
Okay.
Things happen as they happen, and you get a long rest, so you can mark that off on Beyond. And you awaken early in the morning because you fall asleep quite early, rejuvenated. It's cold as it was when you went to sleep, but the snow is still coming down. The wind is strong. The smell of the cooked stew has kind of disappeared at this point. It's just empty early morning. The charred remains of where the fire had been still there, but you come out of the barracks, and it's probably 6 or 7 at sunrise. You see Warlow is already up on top of the structure, looking out the east direction, and keeping his eyes east ever since learning of something in the forest that hurt a small child. And he sees all of you wake up and comes down. And is there anything in the morning before?
Could we have talked about what you found on your tracks and everything? Could we have talked about?
You can go ahead and do that, and we'll say that this happened.
Volgrim would have wanted to ask you what you found in regards to maybe how the skeletons got in, or what happened to the grates that they were not fastened.
Not bolted down.
Yeah, right,
just
right. So like anything that you found in that.
A single file line, which seemed to be strange, leading around the back of the outpost to make it appear they came from the river, or from a different direction than what they came, which they came from the
southeast, roughly. I mean, it's still east of the outpost, but it's more the southern than the northern.
Gotcha.
Right, which you said your clan or your like group or whatever is from the northern part of the forest.
Northeastern, yeah.
Yes,
it's more eastern than north, but yeah, it's more of like if it was like this, you know.
Right,
it's
so
not like
we're heading east to Bridgerton. What I'm saying is like if we're here and Bridgerton's here and this is the forest, like he's from up here,
correct,
and
yeah.
the skeletons came from down here.
The road, at least. They
Okay.
met the road in that direction, so
Gotcha.
you don't know if they came completely from the south or the southern part of the forest.
Okay.
Or
Understood.
not sure.
Okay. I think Bulger maybe wants to take a quick look at both of the manholes or like little sewer grates or whatever himself, and then he's going to go talk to Commander Cal, and then he's ready to go.
You notice they're bolted down now, and it looks like they've been reinforced, actually. Like, not just the normal bolting, but it looks like they've piled some like heavy weight on top of it, like bags of grain inside barrels on top of corners of it.
Cool.
You know, just kind of like wiggled on top, not perfectly, but
Got you. Okay.
more as a mental safety. Like, this was
bolted down,
door
and
lock.
now there's something.
Yeah, now there's something heavy on
exactly.
top. Right?
Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, I was saying maybe that's what we worked on yesterday as well, is like a new lock safe thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. And because of that, you can have an inspiration dice. So what that is for new players is a D20. You can use one of mine, so it reminds you. You have this for a single use to give yourself advantage.
Oh, yeah.
I also allow players to give that to other players if they would like. So if there's some point you want to give a player advantage, you just have to designate it before they say they're doing something. So if you know at the beginning of combat you want to give it to Bulgrim or Kai or whoever, you can give that, and then once you guys roll it, give it back to me, and you know you don't have it anymore.
It's awesome.
But it's for advantage, basically. For doing cool things and things that I enjoy. So. So you did that. You guys reinforced. Warlow noticed that the grating on that were open has been closed up, and he lets you guys know that the outpost is secure, and that he received word that reinforcements will come.
Cool.
In the morning. Thalik, anything you wanted to do in the morning?
Really got a hankering for like a pumpkin spice latte.
Unfortunately, they are not available. We are sold out right now. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe Esmeralda can hook me up with some breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she still had some chickens that had lived through it, that there were some eggs in the morning. She scrambles up some.
Maybe we can get a couple of rolls or something for some rations for the road, especially if they're those healing rolls.
Sure. Give a persuasion roll. So D20, add persuasion.
Does he get advantage because he's been talking to Esmeralda the whole time?
Sure, you get advantage. Yes, you do. You spent enough time last night like smooching her, so you can roll 2 D20 and take the higher number. You just
Found it.
She should be at disadvantage too.
11.
Total.
No.
So skills. Yep. Skills, and then persuasion.
Yeah. So 12.
12. She smiles and don't tell anyone I did this. And she grabs a little sack and tosses 5 of these rolls in.
How convenient.
5 rolls for the day. What those rolls will do is basically kind of similar to Goodberry.
Sure. Have to take an action to use it, or
bonus action. Bonus action to eat the roll, but it's not like something, if you do it in combat, like you're going to be chewing on it while you're still fighting. Like, it's not something you take one little bite out of and then suddenly it's down your throat. And like, so if you're jumping off a wall taking a bite. I might make you choke if you get a really bad roll for landing, for acrobatics.
Nice.
The thing that was going to heal you. Yeah. But yeah, you get the rolls. She's...
Nice.
Now you're going to want to eat those within a day's time. They won't be useful after that. It was wonderful meeting you.
Oh, I will see you again.
I hope so. Anyone else? Anything in the morning before you head off?
Commander Cal.
Okay.
I will go relay all of the information that I got from Kai about undead hiding their numbers and the position they come from. There's way too much planning, way too much intelligence here. There is a culprit. Unfortunately, I don't have exactly who at this time, but there is a culprit.
You notice that most of his demeanor has returned to the steady when you came up to him. And then when you mention single file marching and complexity for undead, which does not normally exist.
Hiding the direction of their attack.
Yeah. You see him, his brow kind of furrow, and he rubs his chin a little bit. And for an elf, he actually has a tiny bit of stubble. You don't know if he's been growing it for 10 years, and that's right. Like, elves don't grow facial hair very easily, so.
So Bulgrim, as a dwarf, definitely notices, though.
Yeah. Like this is something he's been working at for a while to let grow. Naturally, they just stay very fair and clean-shaven, basically, without needing to shave. And you see him rub his jawline, and it's getting stranger and stranger. I will send word of this, but you say they came from the southeast direction towards the road?
From the road, but they made it a point to hide the direction.
And they weren't on the other side of the road?
I believe no, right? Yeah.
That's also strange. They don't typically travel on the road just to travel on the road.
Let alone inside each other's footprints.
Precisely.
Most of them are dragging,
well,
stumbling, or
no stumbling either.
Seems like almost like a well-drilled unit.
Yeah, there was something strange that I noticed when the big one fell. The 3 remaining of his command fell as well, which is quite
that
unique.
is most strange.
Undead normally aren't linked unless through very, very evil and corrupt Levempor. I wonder if...
And if an undead is capable of controlling other undead, then we truly are in a dark place.
Well, I've already sent word, but I'll have word sent later this evening when I'm able, of the findings. And you say Kai was his name?
I believe so, yes.
He seems trustworthy, and...
I don't have a full read on him, but based on our conversations so far, he seems to be a good fellow. He came in and healed strangers, which is always hard to ignore, but you never know what is and is not a ploy nowadays.
For sure. Deeds are sometimes used to disguise, and so keep an eye on him. You said you're heading east.
Apparently he has an undead problem of his own. I said our goal
in the forest?
From where he's from, apparently one of his own is under attack.
Well, do you plan to head back this way after, or?
We're heading on to Bridgerton from our mission from the Order. After this, I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I believe we will have to report to somebody once our initial mission is over. Whether or not that takes us back to West Haven is another matter.
Okay. Well, I had this prepared for you last evening. I assumed you would be leaving in the morning, and he hands over to you a rolled up scroll. This will allow you to communicate with me one time, but if ever you find yourself in trouble within the forest, send word and we'll send some of my command out to assist you. It's a message, a scroll of messaging. Basically, it'll give you the message cantrip once.
With Commander Cal.
Yep. And you can just add that to your items, like a scroll of if you can find it. If not, we'll create it.
Yeah, cool.
I think there is one though. Make sure you take some food with you. Esmeralda's already had the morning's breakfast made. That'll be good for you before you take out. It seems like it's going to stay cold.
Yeah, she had made some eggs.
Yes, typically she will. The eggs are she's good with the chickens. And after last night, I'm surprised they even supplied any. But
well,
she tends
nature provides.
As always, yes. Well, good luck, and hopefully I see you soon.
And to you.
May the light of the Zephyr shine upon you.
It does, as always. And on you.
Thank you. And he does the similar of to his chests, and
I'll just bow politely.
And he turns his back to his duties. So you make your way down the stairs. Anything you folks, Kai, Thalic?
Just ready to get home.
Okay. And do you? What's your what do the others see when do you seem antsy in the morning, to get back, or is it you're still pretty calm about it?
Just calm.
Okay.
I'm no up in my time. I'm not in a hurry, but
okay.
Definitely stoic, I guess.
Are you guys taking the horses into the forest? It's a 2 days walk. That's what I'm asking. Is you could take the horses, but I don't know how much faster it's going to be. It's a pretty dense
that's
forest.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah. And they're outside in the stables. You can take them if you'd like, but
would they need the horses once we get
on the other side of the forest? If after, potentially, but.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I guess we need to decide if we should have to worry about taking the horses all the way through the forest, or if we want to come back to this outpost. Or technically, we've already delivered it to an order member, so we have already fulfilled our agreement on renting the horses.
I think we're a little bit more stealthy if we don't bring the horses.
I think so too, and also apparently something is biting the horses, so I don't know if said thing is in the forest as well. We might have to, sleep next to the horses if we bring them. I'm not sure, so...
Well, we're going to go see druids too. Can they potentially make some horses?
Make you horses?
I mean,
they can summon.
They might have horses. You'd have to ask Kai. You're there in the group, so you heard him say that.
We have no horses.
Yeah.
We have no animals to spare.
They have mostly some livestock, but it's mostly just live with nature. The world provides, the forest provides what they need. And you do know you would know, Kai, or Hez, you would know that outside the boundaries of the forest on the north side, it's only maybe a half day's walk to Bridgerton.
Okay.
So it's not very far. And as far as for where your thing happened, remember, it was about a half day's ride on the road.
Right.
So, and it's right outside the forest where that happened to you.
Right.
So it wouldn't be far to walk out. So it's up to you, though. I mean, you can take them absolutely.
I think it's probably better to leave the horses here. I think it's going to be loud. It's going to draw whatever is attacking them, and it's not really going to be that much faster to take them through dense forest.
I agree.
Okay.
Plus, it's not too far from the other side.
And you don't have to worry about the order coming after you for horses.
It's true. If for whatever reason the horse were to die or get lost in the forest or what have you.
Insurance companies, man.
Yeah. Talk about a scam.
Unreal.
All right.
So I think Fulgrim is ready to start walking.
Okay.
And we're walking.
Yeah, so you guys begin making... Were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to drop off my... create an extra pair of smithing tools that are all cool and artificey, and throw them over to Jessica for the help the other day before we leave.
Really?
So now we can
okay.
smith
Nice.
and
Okay.
stuff.
So you leave these this item with him, or you gift them to him.
Yeah.
And it's just the hammer,
Yeah,
tongs
just
or whatever. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. And he looks him over and he says, "Thank you. I'll cherish these, truly." much newer than the ones that I have, as you've seen.
Yeah.
Do they do anything special? No. And he actually, you see him like roll out a piece of it looks like possibly deer skin that's soft and cured, and he wraps and rolls it together into like a little combined thing. So. So you guys begin trekking through the snow. It's cold. The snow is coming down, and you have roughly a foot of snow that you're traveling through, and you find that your feet are cold. You not quite as much as normal or as everyone else, but yeah, you guys get to the forest within just an hour, or not even, like 20 minutes of traveling, and then you find that it's very dense forest, more than what you're accustomed to, especially for you, Hez.
Yeah. So I'm out of my comfort zone again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Phallic, you're used to it. You've seen forest similar density and all, but yeah, you begin to make your way in, and something you notice is life is there. Like, it's a little bit warmer. The trees are all rich colors of red and orange and yellow. But yeah, it's very, very comforting for the most part, other than the new experience. And that's when you guys begin to travel in the direction led by Kai. Kai, if you'd like to make a history, or no, you're really accustomed to this forest. Just a general perception check. How about that?
Oh, 22?
22. So 22, you find that the forest is normal, but that similar aspect that you've noticed over the last couple seasons almost seems intensified a tiny bit, just slightly. But yeah, you have no issue leading them throughout the day. Is there anything you guys want to do during this travel? You heard that it was going to be about 2 days travel into the forest.
Yeah, I'm actually noticed that my big giant friend is probably a little bit hungover. So I'm gonna use my little nature skills and make him like a cool little tea thing so he kind of sip up and recover.
So as you're walking through the forest, you begin brewing and heating a pot of tea with Fireball, or Firebolt, not Fireball. Firebolt, and you're just warming it, and then it begins to. And you give this tea to him, and it does help. The hangover begins to subside a bit. But yeah, you guys get through the day, no issues. Any specific order you want to take watch as you make camp?
Where are we making camp?
At this point, you're on the western edge of, remember, the grove. I spoke to you within the center of the forest, like that was in between. You're at kind of the edge of that, right on the boundaries of the grove and the forest. So you can make your way into the grove or stay in the forest.
So in that little big open area, I would recommend not going to the big open area and staying in the...
On the kind of the edge of it,
yes,
so it's still... Okay, so yeah, you guys find enough space to put your tent together and...
Can we see if there's like a cave or something? So we're not...
You're welcome to look around or ask Kai if he knows of one.
Nothing to my knowledge, mostly just heavily wooded forest.
Alright.
You can free to roam about.
Can Ballroom look for some wild game to maybe eat for the evening?
I will say you could have even kept your eyes open during the travel. Give a nature. Because you guys, you're walking through smells and all of different races and
maybe
making noise.
Wilgrim, you want help looking for game?
Sure. Okay, so either you can take advantage, or both of you can roll, whichever you'd like.
I would say go ahead and roll.
Yeah, so both of you go ahead and roll.
I got a 15 minus 1 is 14.
14?
Because I'm not very good.
So.
Oh, I'm really good.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
5.
Yeah, roll d20. And then add. He says it's really good and it's like a 2.
17.
There you go.
17 total?
Plus 5.
Oh, so yeah, you guys find a small doe that is kind of in between the fawn and adult age. So large enough to have some meat on it for you to eat, but not like a full adult one. So you can decide whether you would like to have killed it or...
Yeah, let's eat.
I agree.
Everybody else is probably wondering where we're at. So.
When does our bread go bad? Is it in the morning or is it tonight?
She said by the end of the day you should eat it, so...
Oh, I got some deer sandwiches then.
Yeah, ooh.
Oh yeah, so you slice it like a Kaiser roll almost. Like, and you guys take 2 or 3 hours to like drain the blood and...
Fulgrim actually is going to use his leather working tools and he's going to skin and clean the deer.
Okay.
And,
I like it.
So he's going to actually harvest however much leather you think I can harvest. Or, well, materials to make leather. I don't actually get the leather immediately.
Give me a tools check with those tools.
I do not, off the top of my head, know what you use.
While they're prepping dinner, could I use my wild companion to turn into a creature? I guess use a creature as like a scout.
Sure. Yeah. Where would you like to send it?
An owl, just to kind of like patrol our little.
Oh yeah. So you have an owl companion that, as a druid, it stays the same shape. It's the same type of animal. It's not like something you create, correct?
As an action, you can spend use of wild shape without material components when you cast spell. Familiar is a fey instead of beast, and the familiar disappears after 1 hour.
Oh, okay. So it's a familiar. So a familiar. For an hour, it's keeping watch over everything as all this is going on. Nothing out of the ordinary that you can tell. You can see with the owl high in the sky. You can see through its eyes, or is that it can communicate? I know wizards like have an ability to see through their eye, or warlocks can see through the eyes. I think you can communicate.
It's in the Find Familiar spell. I don't know how
for
it works.
For a druid, yeah.
I don't know how it works with that.
Until we find out.
Also, I can't find what I'm supposed to, like, what ability mod I'm supposed to use.
I would just use proficiency plus
wisdom, dex.
Yeah, wisdom. Let's do wisdom.
Okay.
Yeah, wisdom plus proficiency.
Gotcha. My wisdom is +2. I get +4. 21.
21. Yeah, works pretty well. You rather than it taking 3 hours, it takes only about 2 hours to really truly clean it and everything to drain, and then you begin cooking the meat. And more kind of comes out of it as you're cooking it.
Okay. And do I get any like deer skin that I can turn into leather?
Yeah, you can get. Let's say you get enough because it was a smaller deer. Basically enough to either make like leather boots or...
So like a pound or 2?
Roughly, yeah. We'll say 2 pounds to be generous.
Okay, 2 pounds.
Or here, let's leave it up to the dice.
Yeah, okay, yeah, of deer skin.
1 pound.
1 pound of deer skin.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yep.
Wonderful.
So you guys eat deer sandwiches, venison sandwiches?
Tasty.
Yeah. And it is good. It's sweet. Between the rolls, their flavor, and the venison, this deer clearly lived off and foraged off of plants that had some type of sweetness to them.
Sure.
So it came through in its meat, that not like a sugary sweet, but a sweet meat flavor. And is there anything you guys want to do in your time, in your long rests, in your free time?
I noticed that.
That's what I wanted to do.
That's what you were doing, yeah.
I noticed that his tools, are brand new and everything. And I'd like to use my tool crafting ability to win his kind of favor back, because I'm still freaked out.
Okay. How often can you use that, the tool thing?
It doesn't have a thing. It just says you can do it as an action.
How long does it last, though?
What is it? Yeah.
Let me see what it is. Right tool for the right job. An hour.
Oh, so you were assisting him. Like you gave him this magical tool to help with it.
Well, it just says I can make tools.
Yeah, so for you, that's like different skills require different tools sometimes, like thieves' tools or cartographers' tools.
Yeah, like I have leatherworkers,
masons.
masons, and smiths. But like, if I wanted to make a map, I would need to be proficient with cartographers' tools. Which the artificer, that right tool for the right job, basically you can take your smith's tools and you magic them into cartographers' tools.
Yeah.
And then,
For an hour.
Yeah, for an hour.
And then they change back to your smith tools.
Right. So you can't actually have given Hez or Jez that tool set.
Jez.
Oh, you tricked him. Oh, wow. You
put
some
So your smith tools are... and they disappear.
Alright, cool.
He opens, unrolls that nice... It's like...
A puff of dust. A puff of dust comes up.
Boom. Alright, cool.
Yeah. So, you guys eat. Let's just say everyone roll a check for your watch throughout the night. So that's just a D20.
With anything on it? 13?
Just the numbers. I want to see the group average.
16.
13.
16.
19? Wow. Okay, so you guys had a high... Yeah, you guys kept a little fire to stay warm, but no issues.
And
no one like...
Sandwiches.
Yeah. You guys slept good.
I did not need the fire.
No. You felt good. If anything, you kind of like slept right by the flap and like had it partially open, like head out or something, or foot out. You know, like you do with your bed, your your blanket. Your foot's just out of it.
Get that temperature regulation.
Yep.
Yeah, not more.
That good sleep.
Yep. So you all get your long rest. You wake up in the morning, and you know it's maybe a half day's walk to where you saw Dathenelin fall. You knew it. Your commune probably left him where he was and brought the supplies to him.
Yes.
Did you get my message?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
And so, if there's nothing in the morning you want to do, you guys can begin walking.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything to do
Not
in the
much
morning.
to do in the woods.
Yeah.
But do what
But
we
find
set out
food.
to do.
Yeah, but find food or do what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, pack up camp, put out the fire.
Yeah. So something you can do as a druid in the morning is make your good berries if you'd like to go ahead and have them, or you can wait to do that at some other point because they last 8 hours?
It's 24 actually.
Oh.
So in my other campaign, I use any leftover spell slots like before the rest starts.
Yeah, you could have done that the night before and made your good berries so you don't have to worry about wasting that spell slot.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't want to use that.
Yeah, so you have good berries enough. What is it, 8?
It's
10.
10 per cast.
10. So you have 10 good berries. And it's been a while that I've played a druid, but I recall I would give one to each party member normally at the beginning of the day so they have it, and then keep the rest on me. So.
Have two.
But yeah, that's up to you. Like, this is your character, so...
No.
My druid has a sack of 40 of them.
Yeah.
You just after combat.
Yeah. So
No, I've got 10. 2 can go to...
he has a little jar that
He really. And they're reflavored as mushrooms, so he just hands out mushrooms to everybody after combat.
Yeah.
Classic.
So you think about that, how you would have done it.
Right. No, I can just...
One-ups.
I'll make 10. What are we doing with our fallen member over here? Our ghost character. Is he with us?
Yeah, he's here. He's just very quiet. He's a little dismayed over the fallen members of the order and everything that's going on.
And the undead.
And he is very troubled by undead.
And he just skipped his watch for that reason. He just was like, oh no.
No. So you guys begin traveling.
Everybody has 2 good
Okay.
berries.
So everybody has 2 good berries. And about midday, you come upon the scene, and it's something that each of the non-members of the force would know is as you get, it's almost out of nowhere they pop out. You didn't hear them, you didn't smell them, you didn't see them. It was just like this group of 11, 12 people, all very, a bit dirty, their clothes a bit worn. Most of them are wearing natural, not curated outfits. Like, these are leather and cloth that is all from nature. Some of them have moss that's kind of like tucked in for insulation that you can see poking out in areas. You can see some of the women especially have like twigs and berries and different things in their hair. You don't know if this is like a religious thing or just they slept near a bush, and when they got up it got stuck in their hair and they never took it out. But yeah, you notice that this is a very sudden sight, and you see at the center of them, all of them are sitting in a ring around this body of a small child, roughly 4 or 5 in age, and you can see there are bite marks on this child, on his arm. You can see there's one at his throat, and they're all sitting kind of cross-legged and just kind of bobbing back and forth, and they're all chanting something under their breath very quietly, and you can't tell, is this the same words that they're saying, or is it like a rhythmic tune to it, like, as one says it and finishes, the next one says it, and then they begin saying something. You don't know it, but anyone that's proficient in Arcana can make a check as you come upon it.
Is it D20?
D20 and add Arcana, but only if you're proficient in Arcana.
20.
Natural?
19 plus 1.
Okay.
I'm proficient and I get a +1.
Yeah. That's where I want to make sure before I
is that a feature?
Reward something.
Bulgrim is
under proficiencies and
not very smart, but he tries to be.
Yeah.
But he tries to be.
Anybody else proficient in Arcana? No? Okay. So 20 total. You notice there's definitely magical essence in the air, but nothing like glowing. It's more of like a tingling in the air to you. Like it's almost like that weird feeling of like hair standing up on the back of your neck is almost what Bulgrim feels.
Okay.
Not in a bad way, more of like a comforting way, which is new to you. But then inside you feel like, I shouldn't feel this way from it.
Right. There's and he'll sort of adjust himself, feeling in the air. Does anyone else feel that? No?
Yes. I mean, is that directed towards me, I guess?
No, just
I'm part of your group now.
Yeah, just
so yes. Yeah. It's the ritual, I guess. Is that what we would be calling it? Was the ritual taking place? Yes. Before going to the outpost, a few of the members went to get some gloomstock from the fields and see if we can revive.
Is he passed all the way? Is he gone?
He's gone.
Fully gone?
Fully.
Yeah. But how close are we?
To them?
Yeah.
15 feet from the circle.
Have any of them reacted to our presence?
Most have their eyes closed, but they open them at times. They made notice of you, but they didn't like react.
Okay. I'm gonna look to Kai. I'm going to do something. I have a sense about me, and I would like to see if I'm correct. I will not interfere with anything as of yet, but if this ritual may not be necessary, I may be able to fix your lad there.
By all means.
And Bulgrim's going to cast Divine Sense, or not cast, but use his Divine Sense. Is there an aura of undeath coming from the child? Is there an aura of fiendish or celestial or... No, fiendish, celestial, undead. No.
Other than celestial.
There is celestial coming... Oh,
not from the...
No, I got you. Okay. Okay, but it is not undeath. Okay, fantastic. Bulgrim...
It's actually kind of strange to you. You would expect there to be an undead aspect to the child.
Right, with the bite marks and everything. That's what Bulgrim was thinking, at least. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not immediately what I thought, but I can still give it a shot. I am a craftsman and healer by trade, and I've decided to go out and become an adventurer. And Bulgrim will go over to the child and the group of people that are sitting around him.
And it's like a circle, so you're gonna have to like kind of step over, or
Bulgrim's hands are gonna start glowing like a soft reddish green, sort of interweaving in between each other, and he's going to begin moving towards the child. and he'll look to the people that are chanting, and he'll.
I could make way for.
He'll say like
separate the circle a little bit.
I don't know if this is interrupting or not, but I'm going to attempt to save the child. He's just going to say that out loud and continue moving towards the child.
And one of them is an older man. Please allow the ritual to finish. Interruption will cause it to be a fail for sure.
And his hands will stop glowing, and he'll put his hands down.
Thank you. And he continues the chant and what you notice, and it's strange to all of you, is they all stopped the ritual chanting as he stopped to speak with Bulgrim, and then after Bulgrim lowers his hands and all, and it wasn't like a fearful like no stop. It was more like a
he asked respectfully. That's why.
Yeah.
My apologies. This is new to me as well.
That's
no, and they go back and instantly in unison, like the waving of a circular.
Does the stop for a second?
It does for you. Yes, you do notice that. And Kai, are you going to attempt to take part in this?
I mean, at this point, no. I'd like to just observe, as I didn't even know the proper protocol for interference.
Well, you know the chanting.
Gotcha,
you do know the Gloomstalk. You don't know how to make the...
Right, I know that it heals. And
yeah, so I'll say, you would know you should take your place in the circle.
Yes.
Yes.
Then yes, I would like to.
So you and as you sit down, you guys can stay within 5-10 feet. It's not an issue or anything. But Kai sits down with them, crosses his legs, and then as he sits down, they all open their hands out towards the child, close their eyes, and continue this rhythmic, flowing chant. And it's a mixture of words since it's moving through people, basically. It's almost like it's the same verse all at the same time. Because one person on this side saying the first words, and this one's saying the end words, and it's just like continually, it's one continual chain. And so you begin to feel, and you notice that something that maybe you didn't notice at first was there's this reddish paste almost that's kind of put all over the child, thick. And you at first thought it was blood, and that paste begins to you see it begin to like harden and dry up almost. Think of like a face mask that like you would use, and go ahead and give me a D20 roll, please.
D20 with any?
Yes, you were going to add your spellcasting,
Which would be
wisdom for you. So it's +5, +7 total.
18, so 20.
Oh, okay. So as
25?
For the group, a 25. You notice that as this continues and it doesn't increase in intensity in the length, their volume or speed, it stays the same. Calmness, serenity, and then they all stop, and the pace that had been on this child crumbles off of him, and you see him begin to stir, and he opens his eyes and you see him look around and he says, "What happened?" And he looks to the elder that had actually told you to wait. And you fell, but we were able to bring you back. This is why you aren't supposed to travel on your own yet. And he opens his arms and they hug and embrace, and the groups, the 12 and now 13 with Kai in the circle, all get to their feet and they all embrace in one big hug, like a single family unit. Like, and you can tell there's joy, but also gratitude amongst them. Like it's just shining off of their faces. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Reminds me of a Bulgrimson family reunion.
Yes. But instead of them, they're not identical almost images at each other. Like, yeah, so we'll pause there. We'll be back. The second part of this episode will air about a week after. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.